Let's bring in Liberal frontbencher Dan Tehan from the Liberal Party headquarters. A good tick up in the Liberal primary vote. It looks like, according to Tom, the numbers are coming back though, with Labor's primary also holding up. The swing is on, but maybe not enough to secure this seat, Dan.
Look, Kieran, we've got to wait. It's still too early. As Tom said, we need to see some of those pre-poll numbers before you can really say what the swing is. But there's no doubt that the Dunkley electorate is sending Anthony Albanese a message at this by-election that his priorities have been wrong. He hasn't been focused on the issues that are relevant to them. So, look, still early. We still definitely have to wait and see those pre-polls. There's no doubt there is a swing, and they're sending a message to Anthony Albanese, your priorities have been wrong.
What does it say about the leadership of Peter Dutton? There'd been suggestions that he was unelectable and so on. Does this show that you and the Liberal Party can be competitive under the leadership of Peter Dutton?
Absolutely. The key for us has been the unity that we've shown under Peter Dutton's leadership. And if we can continue to show that unity, and then that unity of purpose as we release policies leading up to the next election, then there is no doubt, based on this result, that we can be competitive. It's been shown quite clearly. And, you know, hats off to Peter Dutton for the way, with a first-term opposition, he has unified us and given us that sense of purpose. And we're seeing the results here in Dunkley. He's been able to focus on the issues that the voters want us to focus on. Anthony Albanese hasn't. If we can keep doing that, then we will be very, very competitive at the next election.
Dan Tehan, as immigration spokesman, it's Andrew Clennell here. You've been leading the way on this detainees issue, criminal detainees. Do you believe this has played into this result at all?
Look, I've got no doubt that law and order, the detainees, the fiasco around that, you've got an Immigration Minister who's widely regarded as hopeless and hapless. That has played some part. There is no doubt also the high level of immigration has also played a part. 1.6 million people coming into this country in a 4-year period when we've got a housing crisis, a rental crisis, people can't see the GP. So that'll be an issue which we continue to prosecute. And immigration, you've had people coming out and saying is hurting when it comes to cost of living. And the government, and I think this by-election has shown it, hasn't done enough to address cost of living, and that's what I think the big message out of this by-election is tonight.
When you look at the seats under the margin of 6 and a bit percent, the sort of demographic profiles of regional and outer suburban seats being in the mix, try at least a swing of upwards of 3% in this by-election, will it help you sharpen up your campaign ahead of the next federal election in all of those other seats in the working class heartland of this nation?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look here in Victoria, and no doubt Dunkley definitely will be in play one way or another at the next election. Aston definitely will be at play. McEwen definitely will be at play. And I think there will be other seats with similar demographics that we'll be able to target as well. You look at Western Australia, New South Wales and South Australia, it will be similar. There will be seats that we'll be able to target. So I think what this by-election shows is it's game on at the next election. And for a first-term opposition to be putting itself back in a position to be competitive at the next election shows what we've been able to do by unifying and making sure we're doing the policy development that will mean that we have a very, very good proposition to put the Australian people.
Dan, it's Peter Credlin. I mean, I look at this seat, put Aston to one side, someone had just been elected, they sort of cut and run. That's what the electorate thought. Wrong candidate, all those things we've talked about, Labor honeymoon. This is a truer test. And this is also the message that, you know, I know you have sent to Liberals, I send to Liberals as well. Going to the left doesn't win you seats, doesn't make you competitive. You are squarely on the centre right now as a party coming out of Canberra in policy terms. It's no small target either. You've gone out very hard on the issue of nuclear power in the last 10 days. And of course, you've been very strong where the government has been deficient on border security. This to me says that the conditions are suiting the Peter Dutton conservative policies that you've got on the table.
Peter, you're absolutely right. You've got to give people a choice. If you don't give them a choice, then they don't know what they're voting for. And the clear message that I'm getting again and again is that people now understand that there will be a clear choice at the next election. You'll have a leader in Peter Dutton and the Liberal Party and National Party that will be focused on the issues which are relevant to the Australian people. And if it keeps going the way it is, you'll have a Prime Minister who seems more focused on going to Taylor Swift and Katy Perry concerts than he does on addressing cost of living issues for the Australian people. So it is absolutely game on. I think we've done the work, we've done the analysis, we know what we've got to do. We know that there has to be a clear contrast at the next election, and that is what we're going to deliver.
Dan, I'm looking at some of these booths, and yes, there have been areas that have voted Liberal, but the numbers, you know, even in Mount Eliza and places like that, you've got 12%, 10%, 14% swings. That says to me, your base is back, the heartland's back. Liberals are back on our team in Victoria, and we know at a state level in particular, they've been missing in action for some time.
Well, look, I don't want to give our opposition at the state level, advice. We've got to just focus on what we're doing federally. But what we've done federally, I think, is a pointer to what works in politics. Unified, have policies, make sure that there is a clear difference between you and the government, and work your butt off. Work your butt off. Nathan has done it here in Dunkley. We're all doing it federally, and if we can continue to do that, hold the government to account like we have Andrew Giles, that hopeless and hapless Immigration Minister, keep doing it to their other weak links, and focus on issues like cost of living, like housing, like immigration, like energy, and I think we will have a real shot at making the next election very, very competitive, and that's what the Australian people need.
Dan Tehan, thank you. We'll chat to you later this evening.